What if I already told you that your cat has a set of rules they expect you to follow? Would you even know what those rules are? Most pet owners believe they do, but cats carry silent expectations that go far beyond food, water, and affection. These are unspoken standards your cat quietly tests you on each and every day. And if you keep violating them, which most people do without ever realizing it, your cat won't say a word. They'll simply begin to lose trust in you. Let's begin with the mistake almost everybody makes. 1. Staring directly into your cat's eyes. Have you ever gazed straight into your cat's eyes and noticed them suddenly look away? You probably brushed it off. Maybe you assumed they got distracted by something else. But here's what was truly happening beneath the surface. In feline communication, direct eye contact is not an expression of love. It's a declaration of dominance. When you lock onto your cat's gaze and hold it even a few seconds longer than you should, your cat interprets it as a threat. It's deeply embedded in their survival instincts. In the wild, a sustained stare between two cats is exactly what unfolds in the moments before a confrontation. So every time you peer into those stunning eyes believing you're sharing a tender moment, your cat is sitting there wondering why you're coming at them aggressively. A study featured in the journal Animal Cognition discovered that cats deliberately avoid eye contact with people who stare at them head-on, yet move toward people who blink slowly and glance away. That's no accident. That's your cat spelling out the rules for you. The correct approach is straightforward. Look at your cat gently, offer a slow blink, then shift your gaze elsewhere. That's the true way to say, "I love you," in their world. And if you've been staring this whole time without knowing better, don't panic. 2. Petting your cat for too long. Why does your cat go from purring contentedly on your lap to suddenly sinking their teeth into your hand out of nowhere? You didn't feel like you did anything wrong. And honestly, that's exactly how it seemed. But here's the hard truth. You did cross a line. You just had no idea when to pull back. Cats have a neurological tolerance for physical touch. Once you push past it, what began as pure pleasure becomes overwhelming stimulation. And when that switch gets flipped, your cat isn't acting out of spite. They're communicating that you broke their rule. Researchers refer to this as petting-induced aggression. It develops because the repeated contact on their skin begins irritating their nerve receptors. Picture someone rubbing the exact same patch on your arm again and again. At first it's soothing, then it becomes uncomfortable, then it's completely intolerable. The warning signs are always present before the bite ever comes. Their tail begins flicking. Their ears shift slightly backward. Their skin ripples along their spine. Most owners miss every one of those signals because they're too caught up in how adorable the moment feels. The rule is clear. Pet in brief intervals. The moment you notice any of those signs, stop. Let your cat be the one to decide when they want more. That's not your cat rejecting you. That's your cat teaching you the way they need to be loved. And before we continue, if this is already reshaping how you understand your cat, go ahead and hit like and subscribe so we can reach more owners who want to learn the rules their cat will never meow out loud. 3. Moving their favorite spot. You know that particular place your cat always settles into? What happens the moment you shift the blanket, rearrange the furniture, or toss out the worn-out box they adored? Most owners don't give it a second thought. You're tidying up, doing your thing. But in your cat's world, you just erased something that was entirely theirs. Cats don't experience your home the way you do. They chart their entire world through scent and territorial boundaries. Every spot they claim gets layered with pheromones from their face and paws. That's their way of declaring, "This is mine. This is safe. I belong right here." So, when you relocate their favorite blanket to another room or shuffle the furniture around, your cat doesn't just feel mildly annoyed. They feel completely uprooted. The sense of security they carefully built around that space is suddenly, inexplicably gone. A study from the Journal of Feline Medicine and Surgery identified environmental disruption as one of the leading stress triggers in indoor cats. Something as minor as sliding a bed to the opposite side of the room can bring on anxiety, appetite loss, and even litter box problems. The rule here is to honor what they've claimed. When your cat has chosen the spot, that's not random. That's intentional. And if you truly must move something, do it gradually. Inch it along little by little so your cat can adapt without feeling like their entire safe haven disappeared without warning. 4. Ignoring them when you come home. When you finally walk through the door after a long day, what's the first thing you actually do? Drop your keys, scroll your phone, peel off your shoes. But have you ever paused to notice that your cat was already there, waiting for you? Most owners walk straight past without a second glance. To you, it registers as nothing. You're exhausted. You're somewhere else in your head. You'll get to them in a few minutes. But to your cat, that moment carried enormous weight. Cats don't greet people casually. When your cat positions themselves at the door or watches you enter from across the room, that is a deliberate, conscious decision. They're acknowledging your return, and they expect that acknowledgement to be returned. This isn't clinginess. It's a social ritual that cats take with complete seriousness. Researchers who study feline behavior have documented that cats develop greeting routines with their owners, just as they do with fellow cats they've come to trust. A measured approach, a raised tail, maybe a delicate little chirp. That's their version of saying, "I saw you come in, and I'm glad you're back." When you walk past that moment, your cat doesn't make a scene. They simply log it quietly. And as time passes, those overlooked greetings accumulate. Your cat starts waiting by the door less often. The chirping fades when you walk in. Not because the affection disappeared, but because they learned that you don't honor the particular rule. The fix takes no more than 3 seconds. When you walk in, offer your cat a slow blink. Murmur something gentle in their direction. That's genuinely all they've ever been asking for from you. 5. Talking to them while they eat. Do you chat with your cat during mealtime? Maybe you linger nearby and say something sweet while they chow down. It feels completely innocent, doesn't it? But your cat experiences it entirely differently. In the wild, eating is one of the most exposed and vulnerable moments in any cat's day. Their head is lowered, their focus is locked on the food, and their guard is at its lowest point. That hardwired instinct doesn't vanish simply because they now live inside your home. So, when you hover above their bowl, speak to them, or reach down to stroke them mid-meal, your cat's survival instincts snap to attention. They can no longer fully relax into eating because part of their awareness is now fixated on tracking your movements. Even if they don't bolt, the internal stress is very much present. You just can't see it happening. What you can observe is what comes after. Cats that feel pressured while eating begin gulping their food too fast, which leads to vomiting, protective behavior around the bowl, or outright avoidance of it. In homes with multiple cats, the same tension can emerge even without you being there at all. When food dishes are positioned too close together, the presence of another cat generates that same underlying pressure. So even if you step away, they still can't eat in peace. The rule is simple. When your cat is eating, step back. No talking, no touching, no looming over them. And if you have several cats, give each one a separate space to eat. Those few minutes at the bowl belong to them and no one else. 6. Picking them up without warning. Have you ever spotted your cat lounging nearby and simply reached down and scooped them up without a second thought? Maybe you wanted a cuddle. Maybe they just looked too adorable to resist. It felt completely natural to you. But the moment your hands wrapped around them, something shifted. They stiffened. They squirmed. They wanted down almost immediately. And you probably thought, why won't they just let me hold them? Here's what was actually happening in that moment. Cats are grounded creatures by instinct. Their paws and a solid surface isn't just a preference. It's a fundamental sense of control over their own safety. The moment you lift them without any warning, you've removed every bit of that control in an instant. Their feet leave the ground, their escape routes disappear, and their brain registers one thing immediately: vulnerability. It doesn't matter that you're the person who feeds them and loves them. In that split second, their survival wiring takes over completely. And the thing is, the warning signs were always there before the struggle began. A slight tension in their body, a flick of the tail, a subtle shift away from your approaching hands. Most owners barrel right past every single one of those signals because the intention behind the grab was affection. Researchers who study feline stress have found that being lifted unexpectedly is one of the most commonly reported sources of anxiety in domestic cats. Over time, repeated unannounced pickups teach your cat to associate your approaching hands with a loss of control. And once that association sets in, they'll begin flinching or retreating the moment you reach toward them, even when all you wanted was to pet them. The rule isn't that you can never pick your cat up. The rule is that you have to earn the moment first. Approach them slowly. Let them sniff your hand. Give them a breath of time to register that you're there. If they lean into you or stay relaxed, that's your green light. If they shift away, honor that signal and let them be. A cat that comes to understand that you will never force the moment will actually seek you out for closeness far more often than one who has learned to brace themselves every time you get near. That's not your cat being distant. That's your cat telling you exactly how they need to be approached. And now that you know, every reach toward them can become an invitation instead of an ambush.